Please don't bike too fast. I only got one wheel.
What are you doing?
It's a bit too warm. Sweden is a long country. It's longer than most of Europe. And this weekend we are exploring the very southernmost tip of Sweden, right down here in Smygehuk, the very most southern tip of this country. Or well, maybe the very most southern tip is down there by the water. We'll go there soon. First, let's go over to Hannah there and check out some signs. So on the ground here, we have some distance markers to different cities. From Stockholm to Treriksröset, London, Paris and Berlin. There were arrows in every direction. But that's enough geography. Now it was time to head down to the actual most southern point of Sweden. So now we're standing at the very most southern tip of Sweden. I guess you won't get closer to Germany than this while still being in Sweden. You would have to go to Denmark for that. And nobody wants to go to Denmark.
What?
We all know Sweden is better than Denmark.
It's what he said, not me.
It's true. No, just kidding. I like our neighbors in the south. Usually, anyways. In this video, Hannah and I will take you on a tour through the very most south of Sweden. Stops will be made in Ystad, Smedstorp and Kivik. Why are we doing this trip? Well, this region of Sweden is simply beautiful this time of year, especially with all the yellow fields. But we will not only look at yellow fields, we will also bike, explore new places and stay in interesting places, some of them secret for now. Now, let's get to the biking part. Right now we're following Sverigeleden towards Ystad. Sverigeleden is a bike path that goes through the entire country. It's a bit warm now. The sun is coming out behind the clouds. Let's keep going towards Ystad. Yes, today we are heading towards the city of Ystad, a small town that has been around in one form or another since at least the 11th century. But more about that later on. To actually get there, we first need to bike around 35 kilometers. We've been biking along the coast for an hour now and found this very nice beach here. So we're taking a short break.
Yeah.
Then it's onwards towards Ystad, where I have booked a very interesting accommodation for the night. It's still secret, it's a surprise for Hannah. She has no idea what it is.
Oh my god.
We're falling faster than we can fly. Forgotten seconds out on Sunset Drive. And I hold on tight, but not enough to hold you back. It feels like the moon is spinning off into outer space without.
We were now closing in on Ystad, but before arriving, we have one more stop to make. This time at a farm. We have now arrived at a place called Strandåkra Abbekås. It's a farm. It's still early May, not sure what can grow in May. I'm not that good at farming. Yeah, I am no farmer, but judging by the available produce in the self-service store, onions, potatoes and asparagus seems to grow in Sweden in May. Okay, so we found some local vegetables. One red onion and some asparagus. Perfect for the food I am making tonight for you. Bacon, fisk och potatis. How that dinner turns out, we'll see quite soon. Now we're arriving in Ystad. Jaha, so now we're in Ystad.
Finally.
Yeah, finally, our first time here.
Yeah.
And you still have no idea of where we're staying tonight, do you?
No, I don't.
Let me give you a tip. It's very tall and quite unique looking.
Okay.
We were now in Ystad, a town located just by the coast. And it is rather old. The city itself has been around since at least the 11th century. A lot of old buildings are still preserved to this day. Here's an abbey built in the year 1267. This city is very nice.
Yeah, it's very cozy.
And it's very calm and very pretty with all these old buildings and plants and flowers. But now, I think it's time to head towards the accommodation I booked for tonight.
All right.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I am.
Let's go! The time has now come for me to reveal the first place we'll stay at during this trip. Our accommodation for the night. An old water tower. How exciting! Finished in 1915, this 40 meters tall tower used to contain 600 cubic meters of water. In 1968, it was no longer in use and a vote was held to decide the fate of the old tower. With a margin of just one vote, a decision was made to keep the tower, which is great because that's where we're staying tonight. Alright then, give us the tour.
You're insane. Do you use the key?
Yes, key goes into the elevator button. What are you most excited about?
I don't know, everything.
For me, it's the bathtub.
Bathtub.
Yeah.
Holy shit. What is this place you have built?
Well, as I told you before, it's an old water tower. A 4-floor penthouse apartment with a huge kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathtub, and an amazing view over the city of Ystad. Alright, so we are actually staying here for a very special reason. Today it's our anniversary. 3 years as a married couple. Skål! And we did spend our entire budget on this accommodation and expensive fancy wine. So tonight we'll eat a cup of pasta. No, not really. I will cook a very fancy dinner for you. Yes, the time has come for me to show off my culinary skills. Fresh asparagus, 1 onion, vegetables, fish, cod. Somehow the food turned out pretty great. But to be fair, we would have eaten anything after such a long day of biking. Although I have to say that a romantic dinner in the top of an old water tower is pretty cool. Highly recommended. Now it was time for a bath.
What are you doing?
It's a bit too warm. Isn't this the best way to end the day after a lot of biking? A very hot bath. Welcome to the bath. So I had this very nice idea of looking at the sunrise from the top of this tower, but then I realized the sun rises at 5 AM here in May. But I am up. Let's see if we can catch a nice sunrise. There wasn't too much of a sunrise. Back to bed we go. Alright, I'm gonna go back to bed because I'm tired, so see you in a few hours. So, did you sleep well last night?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we had a really good time in this old water tower. But today we have around 50 kilometers to bike. Yes indeed, 50 kilometers. From Ystad we'll make our way towards Kåseberga and look at some old stones. Then it's upwards towards Smedstorp.
Alright.
Let's eat up and get going.
Yeah.
So after finishing up our breakfast, we left the old water tower behind and began biking and unicycling. Things are going pretty good today so far.
Yeah.
We have covered a lot of distance. Although we did take a bus. Is this cheating? The bus. Taking the bus, is it cheating? Yeah, I guess it kind of is. Anyways, we're biking now along these country roads here now. On our way towards Kåseberga. It's a bit windy, but very sunny.
Yeah.
Let's get biking. Biking towards Kåseberga went rather well, apart from some rather stupid drivers with no respect for us not protected by huge metal cages. But hey, at least you've got a Jag, so that's cool. Now it was almost time to look at some old rocks. Well, now we have arrived here at Ystad. Let's go and look at some very old rocks. We had now arrived at Ystad, an old stone ship dating all the way back to the 6th century. It is not fully known why people built such stone ships. One theory is that the stone ships are meant to follow and help those who have passed away, bringing them safely to what's on the other side. Ystad, a megalithic monument predating the Vikings, but still probably used in one way or another by the Vikings. It's amazing. How the hell did they get all these rocks up here? I do not know. Yeah, how did they bring these stones up this steep hill? A very windy hill, I have to say. Good for paragliding, I guess. You wanna go down to the water?
No.
I think we're skipping the beach. It's too windy here. Let's go and have some waffles instead, or ice cream. Yes, that sounds good. Some ice cream. Is it good?
Yeah, very good.
And after ice cream, it was time for some proper food. Fish burgers with fries. Some really good burger. Before biking. 20 kilometers left. Eat up. With these burgers down, we once again hopped on our bikes and unicycle. Hannah rolling and me pedaling. We then kept on biking, once again through some rather yellow fields. So now we've left the coast behind, heading inland through fields and farms, heading towards our accommodation of the night in Smedstorp, around 20 kilometers left. Before reaching Smedstorp though, we will make one more stop because I like to look at old stuff. This right here is Örrumshuset, a house built around the year 1800. It is still relatively unchanged and it provides a good example of how poor people lived in this part of Sweden. Nowadays this house is a museum, but I think it's closed, but let's have a peek inside anyways. Yeah, well, instead here's some pictures I found online. Then we once more biked through some yellow fields and eventually made it to the very tiny town of Smedstorp. There's really nothing to do in Smedstorp, so we stayed inside and had a calm, relaxing evening. Sitting here now in Smedstorp in a small, cozy house, reading a book, a novel by Hjalmar Söderberg. It's a classic, I think. We were planning to watch some TV, but the TV is broken. But there's a lot of books here, so reading a book, I guess that's a good way to prepare for more biking tomorrow. The next morning the crows were very much awake, and so are we, because it's time for some more biking and unicycling. Good morning! It's day 3, the last day of our bike trip. But fear not, we have a lot of plans for the day. We're gonna bike for a while and we'll check out a national park and then we'll go and drink some cider. Yes, cider, which I do very much look forward to. Cider would indeed be the highlight of the day. As we set off on day 3 of our bicycle and unicycle adventure, we'll make our way to Kivik and then it's onwards to the cider mill of Kivik's Musteri. Initially the day consisted of downhill riding, which I have to say is kinda tough on a unicycle, especially while wearing a big backpack. I was also responsible for the navigation, which is easier than one may think. My hands are usually free while unicycling. My navigation skills even took us through this really beautiful forest. So now we have about 9 kilometers left to Stenshuvud National Park. There we'll have a cup of tea at the beach.
Sounds good.
That sounds pretty good. See you at the beach. We had now made it to Stenshuvud's nationalpark, 1 out of 30 national parks in Sweden. And although the weather's not being too great, it's time for some tea at the beach. So now we're down here at the beach having
Some tea.
a very big cup of tea. It's really quite nice here. We've been biking for 3 days now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. Are you feeling some apple cider soon?
Oh yes, that I'm looking forward to.
I am also very much looking forward to apple cider and other drinks made of apples. So, up to the right, very nice viewpoint, and that way, apple cider. Which way you want to go?
Apple cider, of course.
Apple cider. Lucky for you guys, I went up there to the viewpoint 2 years ago. And it looks like this. It's a pretty nice view, but we were too tired and too thirsty for cider to go up there. Now we were arriving at Kivik's Musteri. Now we arrived.
There we are.
Finally at Kivik's Musteri. I think we should go in and check out the store first.
Yeah.
And buy some drinks.
That's nice.
And then we can go to the restaurant and eat some apples too.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's go. The company Kivik's Musteri was founded in the year 1935, but the founder's father had been growing apples around here since at least 1888. Today you'll find products from Kivik's in most grocery stores in Sweden. But if you want to buy their alcoholic beverages, you'll have to go to either Systembolaget or visit the restaurant here at the cider mill. One more cider. Or two.
Alright.
That should be good?
Yeah, should be
Let's
good.
go. We picked up quite a few different apple drinks, or you know, as many as we could possibly fit in our already quite full backpacks. Then it was onwards towards the restaurant. Here we ate chicken and potatoes with some rather interesting apple jelly. And of course also drank a cider. We then learned some more about the cider making and rested for a while before continuing. We have now left the cider mill behind, but we did bring a lot of ciders with us. My backpack is very heavy, full of cider, and this bag here, also heavy, full of cider. As we rolled into Kivik, our bags may have been even heavier than when we began biking 3 days ago. Now, before we are done for the day, we have one more thing to do. It's time to forage for some wild garlic. We're picking some wild garlic that we're gonna have in our omelette tonight. Yeah, it smells like garlic. And this right here is a very small cabin that we booked for the night. Now it was time for some wild garlic omelette. Highly recommended. That's some really good red love cider. But now I am very tired and so is Hannah. We had 3 really good days here biking in Skåne. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one. Hej på er. Now I have to just move the bikes here so that I can prepare the bed and get some sleep.